Okay, so I'm already putting this little whiteboard to use. This is the part that I'm going to try to make here. So I've got me a piece of 1 inch diameter stock here. I'm going to chuck it up in the lathe and see if I can get it down to a size that will work well for the gear blank. I don't even know if I can call it a gear blank, but the blank for the next phase of this little build. So I'm gonna start bringing you guys along for part of the project as I start to get this thing roughed out and see how this turns out. If I can get my gloves on. There we go. Alright, let's see what I can do with this. Got a lot of stick out there, but hopefully it'll turn out okay. Still got a little bit to take out there. Thought it felt like it was still interrupted. Okay, that should be close enough. Let me go grab a caliper real quick. Alright, so I'm going to take the majority of this down to 0.718. Down to 718. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take the majority of it down to that dimension, 7.718, and then I'm going to take this back inch down to a ½ inch so that I can chuck it into my makeshift collet for my dividing head. So take off about 231 thousandths or so off the outer diameter of this. About 33 thousandths depth. Okay, I'm going to pause this and I'll bring you guys back when I get a little bit closer here. Okay, so now I've got this area right through here within about 4 thousandths of the dimension that I was shooting for. It's still pretty warm, so I'm going to leave it. Oh, it may shrink down that last few thousandths of an inch. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. I can live with it. I'm going to mark out about an inch here and turn this down to ½ inch. Now, none of this has to be really terribly precise, so that should be close enough. If I get to about the middle of that line longitudinally, if I get down to about ½ inch, I'll be able to chuck that up and start to make my gear on that. So I'm still having major problems with rigidity through the compound and whatnot, so one of the things I'm going to have to do pretty soon is start looking into play in the cross slide and the rocking on the compound, but still it's it's going in the right direction, so I'm not going to complain too awful much. The other thing is I need a different cutter because I need to give myself a shoulder here. What am I going to use? That is a good question. Well, I'm gonna hit it with this first. No, I'm gonna go ahead and switch out to that. See if that does any good for me or not. Another carbide cutter here. Just a brazed on one though. Gonna have my height screwed up, but I can get that dialed in fairly close. Not what I would call the ideal cutter for this, but I think I can get there. Considering the fact that all it has to do is chuck it up in the collet. I'm not going to worry too much about surface finish on it and whatnot at this point. Okay, that might be close enough. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm going to dial in about 20 thousandths to start with. I'm going to change the angle on that a little bit more. Anyways, I'm going to keep chugging along with this, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm pretty well got this finished. Okay, I think I just about got this. I think once it cools down the rest of the way, I think I'm going to have a really good fit on this thing. Worst case scenario is I'll just tap it on a little bit further, but I think I'm going to stick with what I've got there. It's still a little bit warm to the touch. I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to cut this off with the bandsaw, bring it back over here, and get the end of it cleaned up. And then after that, then it'll be ready for the imitation gear making process. So I'm going to go ahead and pause you guys real quick once more and go cut this off real quick and bring you back. Alright, so this is going to be the last little piece of this part of the project. And I'm going to go ahead and upload it. I think it's taking a little longer than I had hoped, so don't want to make the video too long, and I still have to get into the gear cutting part, which is going to be kind of slow and challenging for me anyways. So let's see if I got this centered up decent. That is wobbling like crazy, but that is taken care of, so that should have this pretty well ready to turn into a gear, or something that's gear-like at least. Let's see if this is fitting yet. This is cooled down pretty well. It's tight, but I can get it to go in there, or I can, maybe I'll just stay right there. I don't have to be all the way up against the shoulder on it. At any rate, that is what I was shooting for, so I'll catch up with you guys later. I don't know if I'll do any more on the gear cutting end of it tonight, or if I'll wait till tomorrow on that. So, till next time.